So hi guys, this is Mr. Zishan Khan again. I'm back and now I'm here with a lighter video. My earlier videos, I put in a lot of steam and I provided a lot of heated sentences for you to digest. Now, however, I'm going for a lighter topic, and that is sports. That is my favorite topic, football. And today the discussion will be how to attack. Well, for a long time I struggled to understand how to move the ball forward from back to front, and this will be the core of my advice to you guys. That is my experience or my development as a footballer. I mean, when I used to play, we had players in our team who would take the ball from midfield to front very easily with high pace and high skill. I mean, I really struggled to do that. So I had to, and also, with a lot of physical injuries, over time, I had to develop a method, structure that would come close to European or a German way of playing. So, and when I applied it, and it was true, when I applied it, it was true, it made sense why Germany with the 2002 World Cup final and 2002 World Cup final, and they also played 2006 World Cup final, but they still maintained the same method. They had a right winger on the side who ran at high pace, and all he did was run the right channel. And on the left side, all they had was Lucas Podolski, who played a high line and had a left shot, nothing much. And they're two strikers without much skill, but they played high line and they're physically strong. Miroslav Klose, I mean, you don't see much skill with him or even great high degree of technique. Yet he always scored the goals. And you had defensive midfielders, tall defenders. So basically, the German philosophy, I think, is the best philosophy how to attack in football. And so we start from the back. We have a big goalie who spreads the ball out wide, or kicks it in the midfield, where you win the midfield battle and take the ball to the side. Once you take the ball to the side, you try to release your right midfielder forward. So the right midfielder moves forward and you switch the play across the ball into the flank, where the left midfielder moves in and left midfielder moves in and one of the central midfielders move forward. So you have four people in the box now, along with your two tall center forwards. So for a cross from right, you have your two tall center forwards and your midfielder moving in and your left guy at the far post. And one striker has to move to the near post. So you have your near post, the central defender, the far post, as well as another midfielder in the penalty box. So you're always going to create chances, because a high ball is going to find the head of the tall center forward. And it is a high percentage play, moving the ball along the sides with pace, because it might result in a corner as well. Very easy to find a corner. There's a lot of gap in the right sides, and the defense gets stretched, so the left back doesn't really come out fully. Left back goes in, because then the gaps open up between the defender and the left back. And if the defense does play fine defense, then there's one less man in midfield, right? So that happened. So this is the idea of the German attack. So what is the response to this? As I said, you move one extra man into defense, right, and you try to develop two lines of defense really. So you have 5 in defense and another 2 from midfield in defense. So you have 7 in defense. So this is the philosophy of parking the bus. So you have 2 lines of defense with very little gap between each other, applied by Jose Mourinho at Chelsea. So how do you then attack? I mean, you cannot attack. And why is that? Well, because then the left back actually is able to move out wide, right? And then the left winger of the attacking doesn't have space for the shot. So all you have to do is to block the cross for the center forward. And with the left winger of the defender and the left back moving out fully to close the gaps, then become very difficult. Then the midfielders have to run into the spaces, the space where the penalty box has the lines are drawn. Transition to play to a more central area of the pitch. Try to play just on the right side of the defenders. Wrong side of the defenders. The passes just beyond the defense. So only a highly skilled marksman, like the Karim Benzema or Cristiano Ronaldo, who can score from unusual positions really, where you do not expect them, only half a chance. Only those people called strikers, only they can score from those positions. So I have told you this is how you have to attack, and then they move into go wide, and then they try to develop that results in a double line of defense being formed. Then what do? Then you try to, your striker has to drop back a little, midfielder has to make the runs, and that is in a rather forward and central area of the pitch, where you try to get towards goal, but the angles too acute angles of the goal, and then it is up to the marksman to score or a defensive mistake. That's all you have to do. You have to get into difficult scoring positions in the forward area of the pitch. And what do you mean by difficult scoring position? That you have 3 defenders surrounding the ball in the forward area of the pitch. Now it is up to a striker to show an immediate change of pace and score. That's simple. And so if you see in the goal scoring highlights of Cristiano Ronaldo, often it happens, he's up against 3-4 defenders in the last stages of the field, and he always produces a spectacular finish. So that is the stage 2 of the attacking forward. These two. Of course, there is a third method also, which is called the counter-attacking method. Right, where the opponent also is a team which plays a high line. Very confident team, want to attack, put high balls into the box. That's why they maintain a high line. They want to put high. They believe that there are defensive frailties in the opponent, so they put high balls in, maintain a high line. So then what do? You actually convert a threat into an opportunity, where 2 or 3 strikers of yours, thanks to a great speed, can break through the last line of defense, which is actually very high up the pitch, and try to score. So actually in the midfield there's nobody there, and this was the method adopted by England in the last World Cup, where they only had 2 in midfield. This is what you do when you have 2 in midfield. All you can do is play a counter-attacking game. I mean, you can't hold the ball up much, so the immediate release of pressure from the defense is what matters, Immediate release, and the attackers have to carry the ball through the length of the pitch and try to make a goal. So these 3 methods of attack are the most common attacks in football. You go out wide and cross the ball in, or you try to play in the gap between the 2 lines of defense against a weak opponent or defensive opponent, or and third is the counter-attacking method, where the opponent plays a high line and you just try to break through their last line of defense and you're up against the goalkeeper. So these 3 methods of attack are used. A new method of attack is the one developed by Real Madrid again, where the left back and the right back also actually play the role of what the right winger used to do, where they deliver perfect crosses from difficult positions on the flank, and it is a high cross like those used in the corners by Wayne Rooney when he played for Man United at his peak. Those high corners which really defenders cannot stop. The ball is given a lot of height by fullbacks like Marcelo and Carvajal, and someone like Ronaldo who can leap 2 feet higher than a defender. All has to do is get the ball on the head of the ball, and the ball goes in. I mean, it is a very unique method of scoring, perfect, very new. I mean, I haven't seen it for the last 10-15 years, before Real Madrid started it. But anyone, I mean, the fullbacks are so good at ball playing. Someone like Dani Alves from Barcelona, he had good ball skill, but his crosses were not that good, It's almost like a David Beckham crossing from the right and from the left. Marcelo with his left foot, the ball curves away from the defender and goes high, and then lands on Ronaldo's head, who jumps on 3 feet above the air. And the same with Carvajal. The ball goes high, but it dips and it drops just for Ronaldo to meet it above the defender's head because of his high jump like that of a gazelle. So you have goals written all over them, because of cross. I mean, even the defender stopping the dribble, all you need is a short pass and short change of direction, and with the strength in their legs, they can cross it high. Strong legs really, which allows them to defend and attack at the same time, so they can provide high crosses into the box, and the high leaps by Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo converted into goals. So there you go. I've given you 4 or 5 methods of attack that people generally use. I think when you go on a football field, especially in India when we play, all we do is we do the mad scrabble in midfield, we kick the ball in the midfield and play like children. Whoever gets the ball just tries to dribble through 2-3 players and tries to score, and enjoy the joy and get joy in that. But I think it has to be more organized. You try to move the ball to the sides, then forward, try to take it near the take corners, try to develop the method of crossing. If the crossing doesn't work, then what happens with the consistent movement of the ball into forward areas is that you maintain a high line. If you maintain a high line, then the opponent has to develop 2 defensive lines. When you develop 2 defensive lines, what you have to do is it difficult for the opponent to break through your line. They only go to practice a counter-attacking game. So the chances are that you can recover the ball quickly because there are only 2 people in attack. Once you recover the ball quickly, you try to play, not so wide, but get closer to the 18-yard box. And then from there you can take shots. The wingers can take shots with left, right, or the midfielders can run into forward position, and the forward can come back and release the midfielders, and the midfielders can shoot at the goalie from acute angles, away from the near post, away from both the post, what's called the near post and the far post. So if the marksman is good, you can score goals. However, you also have to provide opportunity for the other team, because if the other team has an attacking opportunity, it opens up defensive frailties in the opponent. So it's a give and take situation. This is how you have to play. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I do not have much more in order to be able to conclude. And I suggest you watch people like, in terms of marksmanship, you watch people like Van Nistelrooy, Thierry Henry, those people, Gabriel Batistuta, especially his free kicks. Free kicks, because he used to take it. It's an invention. Batistuta's free kicks are an invention to get over these, the 8 defenders. Generally away 4 defenders, but sometimes you have 8 defenders, the whole midfield defense. What do you do now? So the striker draws back to midfield, takes off like the Brazilian striker takes a fall and he shoots from 30 yards as a free kick. So this is a new invention, amazing invention, and it is replicated by someone like Cristiano Ronaldo today, when he takes free kicks of 30 yards. That is the solution, because you have 8 defenders actually against a good attacking team. So you have to start shooting from far, and it has to go in. Right? So I suggest you watch these strikers, Batistuta, Thierry Henry, score from far, and this allows you to develop new solutions, and avoid 0-0 draws, 1-1 draws, and allows you to score in a beautiful manner rather than hitting in the dark. Okay, thank you for watching.